Most people think belonging is about fitting in. Perhaps if you just adjust the way you dress, the way you speak, your accent, your tone, the way you eat, different things. And if you just do that, you will eventually fit in or you feel at home. After living so many years in different cultures, I realized something uncomfortable. Trying to fit in or trying to blend in is the biggest mistake people make when they want to belong somewhere. First, let's talk about the blending trap. Blending sounds like blending in sounds harmless, huh? Sometimes even smart. You just watch how people do things, the way they do things, and you adapt. You soften your voice, you do the way things are done. Sometimes you don't want to talk about certain topics and you avoid certain topics. Sometimes you just indulge in those topics even though you don't like them. Sometimes you even laugh at jokes that doesn't really align with who you are. And even after all this, you don't really feel like you blended in or even feel at home. And from the outside, it looks like adoption. But from the deep inside, you know it to be true that it feels like shrinking. So, why does it feel like it is necessary to blend in? Some of us blend in because we are not insecure. Some of us blend in because we think it's necessary. We blend because we want to survive, especially if we are an immigrant or a diaspora or somebody who is new to a new city or a new country, or if you are a woman to a new space where there's only just different gender in the group. And you just feel like you need to blend in to survive. So you act a certain way, you do things a certain way as a tool. And then belonging starts to feel like safety. And slowly you start selling pieces of yourself for the sake of acceptance. But here are the hidden costs of blending in, especially if you are blending in too much. Your confidence becomes situational. Depending on the situation where you are, with whom you are, your confidence is fluctuating. And sometimes your voice becomes lower. Certain places you act a certain way, the other places you act a certain way. And you look like you have adjusted and you blended in, but inside you feel invisible. Here's the thing, I'm not saying do not integrate. There's a huge difference between blending in and integration. Integration says, here is what I'm bringing to the table, let's get along. Blending in is, let me try to be like you or act like you, do certain things like you so that I get accepted. And you know where that leads. And then I realized belonging was not about being less of myself. Belonging is about being rooted in who you are and being able to engage with others. That realization became a turning point in Born Beyond Borders, my book. I don't know if you have read it, but if you haven't, go check it out. Let me know what you think. It is that point that I realized belonging is not about losing parts of myself or changing parts of myself. Belonging was about being rooted and being able to engage with others, regardless of where they come from, what they do, the way they do things. So, belonging is not really something you wait to feel that I belong somewhere or I feel like I'm belonging here. No, belonging is something you build. You build that through self confidence, self awareness. You build that through self respect. You build that through setting the appropriate boundaries. When you integrate, you don't ask, do they like me? Or do they don't like this? Or do they hate that? No. When you integrate, you show up wholly, as you are, with who you are, but with open mind and open heart to learn, with curiosity, right? Here's a simple question to sit with. Which part of or which areas of my life am I trying to blend in instead of trying to integrate? It could be in your relationships, it could be in your workplace, it could also be in your family spaces. And if those areas you look back, even evaluate right now, and you know exactly which part of your areas that you are blending in instead of trying to integrate. And if that area feels like you are disappearing, reevaluate again. And if you ever feel tired trying to fit in, especially as someone like me who had to move from different countries, different cultures over the years, and even if it's one city, one culture that you are trying to adjust in. And if it feels extremely exhausting trying to fit in, adjust, and yeah, you understand what I mean. If that feels in, it's not because you are doing it wrong, it's because you are trying to blend in instead of trying to integrate. Because let's be honest, blending in is exhausting, and instead of blending in, if you try to shift to integration, it's sustainable. You don't need to become somebody else to belong across cultures. You just need to be anchored, be yourself, and be open-minded. And if this resonated with you and it feels familiar, maybe some of it that I mentioned feels close to you, I dive deeper in my book Born Beyond Borders, where I tell a lot of stories and examples and some tools how to navigate yourself throughout this journey. Thank you for being here.